Welcome back. It's all about the IT stocks today. HCLTech could be the big loser, reported a big miss on revenues and margins for the first quarter of FY24 as the constant currency revenue slipped against expectations of growth. The company has, however, maintained their growth guidance for FY24. My colleague Reema got a chance to catch up with the management and began by asking the CEO and MD Vijayakumar on what led to the big miss in the first quarter. Listen in.
I think the most important thing is there are three verticals: financial services, manufacturing, and life sciences, which contributes to 60% of our services revenue. They've delivered a very strong mid-teen growth. Even in this environment, these three verticals have done extremely well. We have challenges in tech and telecom because we saw some more ramp downs during the quarter, more than what we expected. And that's what has resulted in a decline in these two verticals, serious decline. But we do believe things will recover from here on. As I said in the call yesterday, it's like a cycle where the discretionary spend reduction or whatever moderation that has happened on the discretionary spend gets offset with more efficiency-led opportunities. And that's really happened in the three verticals where we have delivered a strong mid-teens growth. And I think the other verticals will also follow suit in the coming quarters.
So for tech and telecom, we should see growth in Q2? Things recover as soon as the current quarter?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And can you talk a little bit more about the ER&D spending, discretionary projects being put on hold? What makes you confident that the worst is behind? And do you think the worst is behind?
Yes. Reema, even if you take our ER&D business profile, a big part of it is in tech and telecom. Almost half of our business is in tech and telecom and what we call as an asset-light industries in the engineering services. And the other half is in manufacturing, med tech, and transportation and other areas. So we've taken the brunt of our engineering services decline in these two verticals in this quarter. And given our forecasts and given all the projections, we do believe there will be a good recovery in these verticals in the coming quarter.
Okay, confident about a good recovery. But can it get back to double digit or will it be a mid-single digit kind of a recovery year on year for tech and telecom?
I think we are right now focused on sequential improvements. I really don't have a good sense of the year-on-year numbers.
And ER&D spending, the worst is behind us, the cuts that we've seen.
That's right.
On the whole. Okay. Prateek, can you talk about on the margin front what happened? We've seen a sharp drop in the margins, yet you maintain your full year guidance of 18 to 19%. What makes you confident you will be able to achieve it?
So, Reema, good morning again. So, first of all, the revenue impact does go down to quite an extent, while obviously we've taken a lot of actions during the quarter, which has prevented the whole thing from percolating down. But that is the real big factor. Apart from that, going forward, we have already taken and announced some of the actions. We do have an action plan beyond that. And the actions that we have announced are related to the salary increments. So for the senior employees, there will be no increments this year, given where we have started the year in Q1 with. And for the junior and mid employees, there would be a deferral of 1 quarter. So those are the announcements we already made yesterday. And there are actions beyond that to make sure we derive the cost savings that are necessary to meet the numbers that we have set for ourselves. And that is where the confidence comes from that we will achieve those numbers.
What will be the savings on the margin due to the changes that you've effected on the wage front this year?
I mean, I can't really quantify the exact thing. That's not something we've published, but it is a meaningful amount. I'll just leave it at that.
And what are the other changes, if I may ask, if you could elaborate on the cost rationalize? Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, in a way, if you look at a normal year across the 3 quarters, which is Q2 to Q4 for us, the total impact does add up to something like 150 basis points, but that's on an annualized basis. Because we spread it across 3 quarters for the year, the impact is lower, and we are not cutting all of it, we are cutting some of it.
Okay. CVK, getting back to the acquisition that you've announced early this morning, you've acquired a German automotive engineering company called ASAP for 154 million euros. Take us through the rationale, the synergies, the margins on this acquired company, and once you integrate it, what could be the growth potential and how much can it contribute in H2?
Yeah, so Reema, it's 154 million euros in revenue in calendar year 2022. We are paying 250 plus million euros for this acquisition. If you look at overall ER&D spend, almost 20% of the global ER&D spend is focused on automotive verticals. Today, there is so much happening in terms of mobility, autonomous and connected kind of vehicles, and that's where this company is focused on. And Germany is again a very big market for the automotive business. So we think it's a perfect, and we are a little bit under-indexed in that space. We've been always highlighting that we were under-indexed on the automotive side, and this is going to give us a big support in really reaching out to customers and also having the right offerings, which will really drive momentum here. We expect the acquisition to really get closed by this quarter, which is September of this year, and the second half will fully contribute. So if it is 153, half of that, 76, 77 million euros. Obviously, it's been a growing company, so there'll be some more growth on top of it. That's where we are.
And CVK, the full year guidance of 6 to 8% that you'd given in April was prior to this acquisition. So the guidance is organic, or will it include?
Yeah, we've always maintained that our guidance is organic, so 6 to 8% is organic. Whatever contribution from ASAP will be incremental to the organic guidance numbers that we've shared.
Okay. And very quickly, CVK, on generative AI. All clients are very curious, they're interested, they're working on projects which involve Gen AI. Can you tell us, will there be any revenue benefit to companies like HCLTech, maybe in FY24 or FY25, or it's going to be post that? And will it be deflationary?
Yeah, I think both are very relevant questions, Reema. Right now, we've been working on AI and some of the work that we're doing, starting from the chips that are required for AI, all of that has been happening in the company, including AI Ops, all of that for the last many years. But coming to generative AI, I think a lot of conversations are around the level of innovation that is possible using generative AI. We have close to 70 projects, including internal and external projects on this, in POC implementation in various phases. So I think right now, I don't see a meaningful revenue contribution. It is going to be very small POCs, but some big enterprises are looking at a strategy for generative AI within their enterprise, which means there is going to be a lot of peripheral revenues, right? Like data, integration, all of that is some of the prerequisites to get, and cloud adoption, all of that are going to get accelerated for better leverage of a technology like generative AI. So right now, I think the revenue contribution purely from this will be very small, but I think it will pick up as more and more companies get their AI strategy in place. I do think there'll be some pickup. There is also, efficiency is one of the biggest expectation. Our customers are constantly asking us for the art of the possible. So we have several POCs working, but I think this is at least a couple of years away, because there is many intricate issues to be resolved before it can be really adopted in a big way within enterprise automation. So I think it's a little time away, I think.
Okay, that's the management of HCLTech. Very important discussion, actually. The key takeaway is that they do acknowledge that there are challenges in several verticals, but they also say that things will definitely recover from here. So they've taken a large part of the brunt now, and they feel that things will recover. Unfortunately, there are no increments for the senior employees this year, but that's also because of how challenging the environment is at the moment. But the stock is not down too much. So, as you were saying, I mean, it could be positioning because the market has been very cautious going into the earnings, and I think it knew what to expect.
Yeah, that's why the market is totally net short on HCLTech. So, if it doesn't fall too much, I'll be interested to see how much the stock can recover from these levels. It's down only 1%. Last 5 sessions, it's down 8%. So, let's see how this goes. But pre-positioning, valuation support as well, and no cut in the guidance as well could support the stock a little bit. But let's